Thanks everyone for joining us today. We have a really exciting demo managing the local administrators. And this should actually be a quick one because we have some really nice quick tricks that we're going to show you on how to get a better handle and move towards least privilege management. And I mean, there's 1,000,001 reasons why you want to be on least privilege management. You know, first of all, if your users are local admins, they just have complete control over their machine and complete control to do some potential damage to your environment, right? And you know, the weird thing about this is that in every organization, there are a group of users outside of IT that need to be local admins. Yeah. And you know, I'm a pretty good example of this. I work in marketing, and I will drive Victor crazy if I'm not a local admin. I mean, I am, you know, just because marketing tools and the things I do on a daily basis, it's just very hard to move me towards that least privilege management. And so we have some tricks that you can still maintain least privilege management, but when needed, authorize users to perform certain tasks, and then quickly regain control so that, you know, your users can still feel comfortable that they can work through their day and not be hindered by IT. But at the same time, you are maintaining compliance. You're making sure that your environment is secure. Victor, I'm going to put you on the spot. What is some of the damage I can do as a local admin, not just to my own machine, but to the company as a whole?
I mean, if you're most of the time, if we give you local admin access, it's pretty much because you can only destroy your own machine and nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. So at least we have a lock on that. But in terms of destroying my own machine, anything, you know, I could leak information. I can install a virus which could potentially move through the company, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, if you have, for example, access to network drives, you know what I mean, your marketing drives, and these are the type of drives that you're logged into your own user account with. So you know, it could get a little dangerous.
It could spread, right? Yes. All right. So definitely good reasons to move towards least privilege management. And so just a little, give you a little reason why we're holding this webinar. A lot of these events, like these more kind of point events where we're talking about something specific, comes from a support call. And in this case, it was our friend Bill. I don't know if he's listening in today, but I won't say his last name. I'll just say Bill. And he reached out to us. He was evaluating Goverlan, and he reached out to us with a unique problem. He was not using least privilege management, and we handled the support call together. And when we looked at some of his machines, it seemed like just random people added in as local administrators.
Yeah.
Right. And he wanted to move towards just these three. And that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to look at our environment. We're going to first get it dirty. We're going to add local admins wherever we want. And then we are going to build some quick custom actions so that we can move to just the 3 authorized local administrators. So kind of in steps, we're going to find machines with non-compliant, non-authorized admins. We are going to remove only the non-authorized admins with just a click of a button because we don't like to do stuff manually. We're going to show you how you can temporarily add the logged in user to the local admins group, again, with a click of a button. So we're not going to have to visit machines. We're not going to have to use admin and diagnostics to navigate through. We are going to build actions and execute them. Then we're going to show you how to quickly revoke those rights when needed, and then also how to scan your entire environment, all the machines in your environment, remove all local administrators aside from the 3 approved ones. Is that about it?
That's about it.
All right. So I think we can get started. And to get started, we're going to focus in on Aaron Wood's machine. So Aaron Woods is logged into a workstation here. We're going to detect which workstation it is, and we can see that it's Longhorn 3. And we're just going to take a look at the local administrators group. So within admin and diagnostics, you don't ever have to launch remote control sessions for this type of stuff. You can do it all behind the scenes. I can navigate to local groups. I can open up the local groups, and I can see who the members are. And just for fun, let's add another person to that local admins group. So, you know, here we're just going to kind of, Victor hates this word, but we're going to corrupt this machine. We're going to give somebody access that shouldn't have access, right? Yeah, search for a user for us. And again, we're integrated with Active Directory. Now we're in kind of a weird spot right now. We rebuilt our entire demo environment to get ready for our next release. And so things may not be as smooth as normal, but like always, we're doing this live. We did test a little bit before, but we are doing this live, so bear with us for just a bit. And here, Victor's just adding a couple of random users to our local admins group. And you can see that I can do this again without remote control. So that's just the really nice first bit. So now we have a whole bunch of non-authorized local admins on this machine, right? So I think first step first is let's build a quick report that's going to show us who is a local admin on this machine. And for that, we're going to navigate to custom actions. Now, we've done this two ways where we, during these demos, where we don't walk through every step, and other instances where we actually walk through every step. Today, we're going to walk through step by step every single action we built. So step one, Victor's Drive, and I'm going to talk through this, is we're just going to build the report of who is a local admin on this machine, and it's a Goverlan custom action. So all we did so far was navigate to custom actions, hit add new, gave it a name, and now he's going to add in the components for his report. And again, we're going to report on a computer property. You can use the little search here, so you can find that local account database, local groups, and we're just looking at the members and the NT account name. And we have to set a condition in this case so that we just look at that local administrators group. So the top section is what we're reporting on. In this case, we are just reporting on the local account database, the group members, the NT account name. That's the only information I want in my report. Bottom section is I set the condition, and I want to gear this in to just look at that local administrators group. Oops. So again, Victor is adding in the condition, and he's going to set that to administrators. Pretty straightforward so far. And we hit OK. And now our report's created, and we should be able to execute this report against the machine. Now, Victor's going to drag the report into the bottom section, into the action templates. We're doing that because we want to show you that after I build this and I verify that it works correctly, I can drag it into the bottom section, and then I can build a scope action to scan all of my machines and report of who the local administrators are on all of those machines. So let's just hit OK, and let's run this. So it just pops up for us. We double click on it, and it's going to execute against this machine. Should take a couple of seconds here to generate our report. And there we have it. So very simple here. We see exactly who the local admins are on each machine. Now, we can adjust the report a little bit so we can show only users that are not equal to the 3 approved. We're not going to do that now, but if you add in 3 more conditions, you can say not equal to administrator, not equal to domain admins, not equal to demo admins, and then we will just be returning those non-authorized admins. Right?
That's good.
Okay. So now step 2, right, is so basically we accomplished step 1. We can now find machines with non-compliant admins. We know that this Longhorn 2 machine has non-compliant admins. We can see them right there: A. Woods, J. Wales, Frank Sinatra. And I don't know what that last name is. Amy Underberg. Right. Okay. So now we're going to remove them. Okay. So here we are going to build another custom action. We're not going to actually navigate through the local users and groups. We're going to do this via a custom action. So we're hitting the plus sign again. We're doing another custom action for computer view. We're going to give it a name: remove non-compliant or non-authorized admins. I think he likes non-authorized better. And just hit add new. And now execute an action, right? Again, managing that local account database. And we are going to go to local groups. And we're going to go to members. I thought it was just remove member. No? Or members, delete object? Okay. Members, delete object. Okay, now we again have to set a condition for this because we don't want to run this without a condition. We only want to remove the non-authorized ones. So the first thing we have to do is again focus this in on the administrators group. So we're going to set the the local group's NT account name equal to administrators. And then we're going to add 3 more conditions here, right? Again, local groups, members, NT account name. And here we're going to set it. Oh, you added something else. Yeah. Oops. Here we're going to set it to not equals. And then we're going to create one of these for each one of the authorized admins. And we pulled the report. Did you close it? Because I saw you change the local user, the local admin. So I don't remember them offhand.
Should be domain.
Let's pull the report again. Just keep it off to the side. This way we can see what we're doing. So we're just going to pause for a second, run that report again. So we want domain admins, demo admins, and administrator. So just jump back into that custom action here. Right there, remove. And we're just going to add 2 more conditions. And then again, not equals.
Oh no, I chose the wrong one, sorry. My fault. Local companies, local groups.
Members, right? You always want to look at the members. And we are going to post step-by-step how to do this on the blog post. So you will get a link to that. And again, not equal to domain admins, and then not equal, demo admins, and then not equal to administrator without the S. Okay. So can we expand that out and show everyone what we did? So again, in this case, we're running an action. It's going to look at the local account database, local groups, members, and delete objects from the administrators groups only when they're not equal to one of those 3. Very straightforward again. Just you have to learn your little bit of Goverlan logic and you're off to building really cool things. So now let's have some fun. So we're going to run this right now. And we can see that it executed. So now let's run our report again. And now we should just expect to see, did it open again? Or let's see.
See if we did it right.
Oh, and we did. So, okay, we just pulled up the same report last time. So again, you can see that we very quickly cleaned out the non-authorized admins. And we did it in a way so that this is a repeatable step now. And it's not taking us to navigate to machines, launch remote control sessions, anything goofy like that. We build the action and it's saved. And we're going to drag that down into our templates. Because again, once this action works, so this is the way we work. We verify on one of our test machines, and then we push it out across our entire environment using scope actions. Because with scope actions, I can target all the machines in this OU, all the machines in my environment, and just with a click of a button, remove that access. So we have one more custom action to build here, and this one is to temporarily add rights to the logged in user. So we're almost like elevating privileges. Little caveat here, and this is a Windows thing, not a Goverlan thing. If you use this last custom action, you do need to have that user log out and log back in for those changes to take effect.
Yeah.
Right, but it's just a standard. So if we're going to elevate those rights, that user needs to log out and log back in. And this is great, again, great for that marketing user that's constantly hitting you up to install software. What you can do is quickly run this action. You know, if it's somebody you trust, and you know, again, a lot of politics plays into this part. And that's the one thing when I was researching this topic, it's all politics in this case. It's all company kind of policy and politics. So you have to decide what you want to do. So here we're just going to add a local group member. So it's another custom action, execute computer action. Again, looking at that local account database, add a local group member. And then we are going to give it the local group member name, administrators.
How are we going to specify the logged in user here? That's what
Very sarcastic. Okay, thank you. So the way we're going to specify the logged in user is using a dynamic value definition. So if you just click that set dynamic value definition, here you can't see, but we're hitting the insert button on our keyboard. And this lets us pull a dynamic variable, literally anything on that machine state. So, but what we're going to look for is that logged in user and their AD account name, NT account name, I don't remember what we did, NT account name, and hit OK. And now hit OK again. And one more time. And again, I guess. Okay, and now we have this last action built. And what we expect to happen, show us the logged in user on the machine. I mean, we can see that it's A Woods right up there because that text up there is actually
Dynamically added.
dynamically added. But again, you can always verify all the logged in users by clicking on logged in users. And now we're just going to run this last action here. So we're going to add E. Woods to the local admins group with a click of a button. And now let's just verify. You want to verify the old way by going to local users and groups?
Yeah, sure.
Just to mix it up, give somebody else to look at for a second. And you can see Aaron Woods is added back in. So again, 3 very simple custom actions that can really help you manage this part of your business a lot better. And you know, I've run into instances like this all the time where this very thing is necessary. And it just works so nicely and so cleanly, and it really takes all the headache out of it. So, you know, that really is close to the end of our demo. You know, the only thing we're going to do now.
Status set.
Sorry about that. The only thing we're going to do now is target multiple machines at once with this same stuff. So we built all 3 of these. Did we add all 3 into the templates? I don't remember.
I think the last one I did.
Yeah, so let's do the last one also, just for fun. So again, after you build it, you verified that it works, you ran it against one machine, you can now go and build your scope action, okay? And so here, again, very simple. Let's do our report first. So we're going to report against all the machines in an OU on the local accounts, the local admins on all the machines in an OU. So we're just going to give it a name first. Hit next, and now we're going to define our target. In this case, it's going to be a container. So we just want to navigate over to our demo workstations and hit OK. And again, you can see that once we build something, we can just drag it into that bottom section and have it saved. Anything you have saved, you can also share among team members. So if you're the only one on your team attending this webinar today, and you think this is cool and you think somebody else will be impressed with it, you can share it with the team, populate it in their console, show them the good work you did. And,
my favorite one is actually to make available to my team because
yeah, we still have our database problem, but it does put it in that repository. So if you make it available, there's a whole repository of saved actions that you can have available. And again, the same exists for deployment packages, everything else. So here we have to do something very simple. We're just going to drag it from the bottom into the top. We built it, we put it in our templates, boom, we're done. So now let's hit next and let's run this.
If we want, we could schedule it.
Yeah, we can schedule this. We can run it on a recurring basis. I mean, that's actually a good point, because if you have a compliance officer in your organization that's asking you for this report, and you know he's going to ask you on the 1st of the month, just build a scope action, have it delivered to his inbox on the 1st of the month. If you need the steps to do that, it's very, very simple. But we can actually go all the way towards, checking that off on your list. So we're going to hit finish, and it's going to execute. It's going to scan through all of our demo machines right now, build out our report for us, and then just pop it up on the screen. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit just for it to finish. And we can see the details. Is our view pro machine on? It is. And we don't actually have to sit here and watch it. We can go and build the next action at the same time. I guess our vPro machine was not on.
Oh, here's the report.
So let's just drag the report over. And you can see it's going to divide it up machine by machine. We can dump this out into Excel. We can do whatever else we want, but we can see exactly who the local admins are on each one of these machines. And again, just a little tweak, we can just show you non-compliant ones as well. So now let's add another. Do you want to do that? I don't think we have any non-compliant ones right now, so our report may come up empty.
Yeah, we could probably just do the add logged in user.
Okay, so we can definitely do. You want to use the same scope? Okay, all right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the logged in user to the local admins group on each one of those machines, and then we're going to generate the report again. So let's just run this again. You want to exclude that vPro machine that's not responding right now?
Yeah.
So we just have one offline machine. So we're just going to work around that so that we don't have to wait for it to time out, I guess. And the timeout wasn't too painful. It's just we have a lot of folks sitting on the phone right now, so you know, we just want this to move quickly. So now we have another machine that's not. Oh, those machines have no logged in users. That's our machine.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Okay. So you can see that A Woods was now added to that Longhorn 2 machine, the only machine with a logged in user. So that machine now has a non-authorized local admin.
I'm going to change the report format to Excel. Just 'cause I like
Absolutely. And again, you can see multiple report formats. No matter what that compliance officer wants, we can deliver. Okay? And now we're going to just tweak this one more time to just show us the non-authorized ones, right? So you're going to delete that first one.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to edit our report action.
Well, I'll do it the other. I mean, we could do it. So
yeah.
We can do this one, or actually, we can edit the remove authorized admins report.
Right.
So
okay.
Change this to a report action. Why not? So instead of, all right, so what we're doing here is basically we're going to use the same conditions because those are the same conditions we were using previously to remove the non-authorized admin.
So those are the conditions that will basically show us the non-authorized admins, right?
Exactly.
So we're just going to change this to a report. Good idea, Victor. Always working smarter. So
I'm going to delete the execute action. And I'm just going to change it to a report. And now we'll just go to local account database. And what are we looking for again?
We are looking for the
members.
Local, yeah, the members.
Into account.
And what we should get is anybody that doesn't satisfy those conditions down below, right?
And you'll only get the machines that it actually pertains to too, because if some machines have everything properly, it's only going to give us the ones that are the
And just a quick question coming in while this is running, and that's, is there a report on failures? And there absolutely is. We immediately saw which machine was giving us the issue, and we adjusted. So there is a report on failures. You'll see which machines are returning, whether they're, in this case, the machine's offline or something like that. So you'll see instantly. So here we can see that Longhorn 2 is the only machine in that of those three that we're running this against that has a non-authorized local admin, and we actually returned you who that non-authorized admin is. And now we can tweak this one more time to actually remove that non-authorized admin, and I think we have pretty much satisfied what we were going to offer this in the demo. Now, this last step here is something you can run on a recurring basis. So if you want to make sure, just because compliance is on you and you need to make sure that you have no non-authorized admins and you're working with the team, configure this to run on a recurring basis. Tell Goverlan, execute this at 9 a.m. every morning. And then this way, I will never run into an issue if an auditor stops in unexpected, and they're just not going to see it happen. So we can run this weekly, we can run it daily, we can do it as often as you want, every 5 minutes even. I don't know why you might need that, but and then it'll always send those reports wherever we want those report details sent. So let's just cancel this out because we're not going to schedule it. But we are going to run it one more time just to remove A Woods. And
we just verify that action. Yeah.
Nope, that says report.
Oh no, it's just the same.
No, yeah, it's the report.
Oh, I moved the wrong one. So let's do remove.
So now we're just going to do cleanup work after this demo and make sure Aaron does not have access to things he doesn't need access to.
Probably should have just created more actions. You could do it all in the same one. So. All right. So here we can see that all the 3 nodes processed successfully without any errors. This is the execution report that you can see an example of. That if there is any issues, you'll see down here under this it'll be failed.
So we have a little bit off-topic question, but a very good one. I'm really glad you asked that. So. Isn't 8.5 an update? If I do a check for updates on my 8.01 installation, no updates are found. And there's a very good reason for this, right? It's because we're moving toward the my.goverlan portal. So now, in order for us to provision accounts, we had to identify who was authorized to install Goverlan and distribute Goverlan to the whole team. So what we did, and whether this was perfect or not, we're still working through it. We notified the account administrator on your account We sent them those details. It's a temporary login. As soon as they log in, they have to set a secure password. And then from there, only that administrator can then distribute the licenses. Now, if you're in a big environment and you need help distributing the licenses, you can send us like a CSV file with, you know, who the users are and which license type they're supposed to get and all that type of details. And we'll take care of it for you. But if you're wondering why you can't do a check for updates, it's because we didn't want those non-authorized admins updating and then getting locked out of the software. So it had to happen through the account administrator. I hope that makes sense. You can see a lot more details on 8.5. We have a demo recorded. We have a whole bunch of other good materials online, including how to create users, how to authorize them for licenses, good stuff like that. Do we have a couple of minutes? What time is it? 12:29. Okay, yeah, let's do it. So if you look at my.goverlan.com, we can sign in. This is our company account here. So it's going to be quite busy. But what you'll see is that you can manage licenses and you can manage users. So stay here for 1 second. Now, if you're an account administrator, you have access to all the licenses on the account. So what we didn't want to do was make all users account administrators. So we tried to identify that one user, and they got notified with the initial login details. From there, they can go and add users. And you can add standard users or admin users. By default, admin users, once you give them access, they have access to everything. Standard users, the ones with the little gray icons, they can only use a license that they're assigned to. So you can see Ezra at Goverlan.com can only use this remote control license, but click on one of the suite licenses. Ezra is not authorized to use one of those suite licenses. I'll never even see that it exists. And if I launch Goverlan, I'll only have access to remote control if I use that login. So that's the reason why we only notified one person on each account. We just wanted to make sure that, you know, people weren't getting access to things that you guys didn't want them to get access to. But again, if you're having issues or you have any other questions, just reach out to us. We're here to help. And we really want to push 8.5. There's a good reason for that. It's because Goverlan version 9 is literally right around the corner. We're running betas right now. Goverlan version 9 is super, super exciting. I can't be more excited about this. It's basically the full power of Goverlan for any machine. So you drop an agent on the machine, you send it out there into the world. I have an agent on my mother-in-law's machine. I can remote control it at any point in time.
Any machine in the world that's not on your network.
That's not on your network. That's right. We're moving the LAN away from Goverlan, right? So we're becoming Goverwan, right? But not really. So what we're doing is, you know, we can now communicate with any machine that has that configured agent. So if you drop an agent on let's say a sales rep's machine and they're out there and they're not connected to VPN, you can fully support them. You can remote control them in an unattended remote control, so they don't have to be sitting there granting you access or using remote assistance sessions. You can just gain access. And then right around the corner after that is the full suite for any machine anywhere in the world with an internet connection and that agent. So I can patch it. I can you know, run all of these cool custom actions and run reports and make sure that I have a handle on every machine I'm managing, not just the machines that are connected to the domain or that I can ping. Can't wait, ETA. Great question. So again, this is in beta right now. We are doing demos of this. So I know I've done 1 or 2 of them. I'm still a bit rusty. Before we do our Friday demo, I'm hoping it's next week. I'm hoping our very next Friday, our very next demo is showing off version 9. If not, we'll come up with some other good topic. So maybe, you know, within a couple of weeks, you should, if you want to gain access to the beta, you could probably gain access. The details of that are going to be put in my.goverlan.com. So that's why it's important for you to get to version 8.5, adopt that, work with us in moving this forward.
And it's a lot more simpler, you know, when it comes, just for those that probably don't know a little bit about the licensing. You know, before we were key based, so if you wanted to, you know, spin up a whole new session, a whole new Goverlan installation, you just throw in a key. And there were issues that could arise in that sense. But now with Goverlan 8.5, you can literally install Goverlan on every single machine in your network, and it only activates by logging and signing in.
And he means the actual admin console, not the agent. So you can actually install this admin console on as many machines as you want, and you sign in and out of it. So you're no longer limited to 2 machines. There's no more activation keys. We're licensing through the portal now. So as long as there's a license available in the pool, you can use it. And you can float licenses, which means that if I close the console, so am I floating this one? I can't see from here. If I close the console, I can release the license back into the pool. So if you're sharing licenses, it makes it really, really easy. So yeah, but that's not. Goverlan 8.5, again, has a lot of value and, again, free update. Another question here, for those WAN features you mentioned, can we lock them down so they can't be accessed or managed when not on the LAN? And yes, you can lock this down. There's a new Goverlan central server being put out that has even more granular control so that you can literally lock down everything. You can define machine by machine, user by user, exactly what the experience is, when you want reach to be available, when you don't want it to be available. So that the locking down, the auditing the admins, all that type of stuff is something we're moving towards. Still taking questions if you have one, but I do want to call in the newest member to the Goverlan team. I'm going to put him on the spot now. I hope he's listening. But Josh is, this part of these demos is to meet the people you're working with. Josh is the newest member to our team. He is a former Goverlan user. He comes from the world of finance and banking, used Goverlan for many, many years. We were looking for another person, and he just joined the team. So he right now is handling a lot of the new license sales. This is Josh. So if you're new and evaluating Goverlan, you may be talking to him. You may have interacted with him if you've joined chat sessions. He's also level 1 on chat. Really good thing about adding people like Josh, and one of the reasons why I love working here, and I know we all love working here, is because we add people who can really add a lot of value. So like if you're evaluating Goverlan and you're talking to a sales rep, you're talking to somebody with like 5 years of history of using this product. You're not talking to somebody who doesn't know what Active Directory is. And I say that because I've worked for a lot of software companies. I can tell you that some sales reps don't know what Active Directory is, even when they're selling Active Directory management software. So that is not the case here. Josh has got a ton of history with Goverlan. He really has adopted the product fully, and he's really taking it to the next level. And so Josh's role officially is kind of pre-sales support. So if you're in that, if you're looking to purchase Goverlan for the first time, you're interacting with somebody who not only knows the intricacies of managing complex environments, also knows how to manage it with Goverlan, can speak intelligently about all these situations you're going through, and you can feel comfortable with that. So please join me in welcoming Josh. And if there's no more questions, that's how we will close out today's session. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have a great day, everybody.